and set this up. This is a letter from J.R. Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're rolling.
My father worked for J.R. Reed from the time he was 19 until he was 73. I found among my father's treasures, I guess I could say that. These are two letters that I had that Mr. Reed wrote in 1934 and 36, right at Christmas Eve. Just Merry Christmas is not enough to say to you, as those two words do not express the tender feeling and affection that has been strong throughout each year of our long association. I want you to know and appreciate that I appreciate the extreme efficient service you have rendered through more than a quarter of a century, but even more the loyalty that has attended this long service. It is my sincere wish that so long as my business life shall last, I may have the pleasure of greeting you each morning on the job. I also hope that good health and happiness may attend you and yours through the coming year. Very sincerely, J.R.R. Want to read the next one?
Sure.
The other one was, Dear Colonel, I might explain that. It seemed to be, to me, that was his sign of affection, to call my father Colonel, and he never addressed him as Ernest. He just always said Colonel. My understanding was that he had come from Kentucky. I don't know, I can't explain it any more than that. But he wrote then, maybe Johnny is right when he says piano business is coming back. Might explain that there was a time during the Depression in the 20s when my father was a little apprehensive about whether they would have enough pianos to tune for him to have a job, and he did take a correspondence course on radio repair. But fortunately, he never was without work throughout the whole Depression time. Let me get back to the letter. But whether it is good or bum, let's see what. But whether it is good or bum, I would dislike to have to fight it without you. We're talking now in Depression time, I guess, with the way the businesses were. If I depend upon you too much, it is your fault, as you have never let me down in the 29 years we have been together, and I hope the pleasant association may endure until the game is finished for me. You are to be congratulated on the lovely family you have reared, and I wish for you and them much health, happiness, and prosperity in 1937. Your friend, J.R. Wasn't that sweet?
That's great.
Couldn't help that.
Yeah. He must have really thought a lot of your dad.
Well, he'd come out there to the house to deliver. I'm sure it was money he was bringing with it, you know, but he came to our home and to bring it, and I remember that.
You remember him coming with that?
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I have a photograph of the man too, but I didn't know I did. But I know I've seen it now, but I didn't.
There was
remember.
A newspaper clipping, I believe, that had his.
Well, it may have been a newspaper clipping. I don't know. It's a regular photographer's work. I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that you had mentioned earlier. You shared that you were something fell into your head.
Oh, yes. I was going to talk about the slogan that we have used for quite a while. I was teaching German Uh, and I had a phone call from someone down at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm not sure who it was at the time, so I'll not even try to remember the name. It seems that what he was trying to tell me was that they had Mrs. Beverly Ulrich, Jack Ulrich's wife, Toya Ulrich's mother, had been in Lubbock, and I noticed that Lubbock had a bumper sticker with saying, "I'm lucky I live in Lubbock." And somebody in the office, or the person they were talking about getting this over into German, something like this, to have on our bumper stickers. Well, they wanted me to, wanted my opinion as to whether that was correct, or what did I think about what they had translated. And maybe it was something like, I don't know what it was for sure, but it was something like, I don't know what they had, so I can't remember exactly what they said. But at any rate, there were correct translations, but it just didn't have any, lilt to it, like, "I'm lucky I live in Lubbock," and it wasn't necessarily what anybody would say if they lived here and liked it. So I said, well, I don't know I can't think of anything else better now, but I think we can maybe get something that's a little bit more what we really want. And said, if you'll just give me some time, I'll see what I can think about it. I was in school when this happened, and so I was just out of class. I had another teacher who was a native German. Her husband was a pastor at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, and she was carrying one class. So at that time we had more than one teacher, that many students, so that the German students, she had one of the classes. And so as I went down the hall, it's just like, well, just dropped into my thinking from who knows where. And as I was explaining to a gentleman I'm talking to, that in German you say, you just, happen to think of something is just like it fell in your consciousness, and you didn't even really try and come up with this. But so I told her, as I came down the hall, I just thought of saying, in Neubraunfels ist das Leben schön. Well, she couldn't think of anything better than that, and the more I thought about it, I couldn't think of anything better. So that's what I came back to the chamber person with that suggestion. They did use it, and it has been used, they continue to use it in so many ways. And I wish I had kept an account of every time I saw that, but I never did. We did have, to publicize it, the first one, the bumper stickers were made green with the white letters, and they were in block letters, as I recall. I just, for the first time in a long time, I hadn't seen it in the bumper sticker, but I saw it at a friend's house just last week, and I really hope, I